I believe this is what every fighter dreams of. Being in this position of to one day not just become a world champion, but to unify titles. I think those are goals that I think fighters put in front of themselves to just better themselves and to be a part of the biggest boxing fights in the world. Fights that could be left behind, and we could speak about it to our kids for many generations to come. This is something that this was a goal for me. This is something that I dreamed of, being in this position, and I'm very, very blessed to be in this position and to have this opportunity given to me by, most important, my promoters, Barbero, and the family in Top Rank, and the family and their family and their staff members, and for allowing me this opportunity to come into a new territory and prove myself and get this opportunity to unify titles against another great champion.
We see so many fighters hide behind the politics of boxing when it comes to making a big fight. I saw just the other day, Joseph Diaz was tweeting about how he wants to fight Abner Maurice. Maurice said, you're on the wrong side of the street. And Maurice is right. I don't blame him for saying that, but you and Maurice came together and put the politics aside. And do you think that maybe people are going to follow your lead? This is going to be
hopefully it motivates people to do the same thing. But I don't think that's our overall goal. I think our goal between me and Maurice Hooker is just to give the fans the best of our abilities. And I think finding a champion versus champion just brings so much to the table. Most people talk about tournaments being important, but I don't think, being in the tournament, I don't think any of those fights allows them to prepare themselves like a fight like this, where it's two big promoters and two different networks. There's a bunch of pride. There's more that comes to it, and I believe it's going to be a big fight, a big unification fight, probably the best unification fight of 2019.
Is it easier to get motivated when you're fighting an undefeated guy like Hooker for another title, as opposed to, getting no knock on a guy like Zepeda or Ross or anything like that, but there's such bigger stakes? Is it for you as you go into camp and get ready for it? Does that make it how much more motivating is it for you for this type of fight?
It's a big motivation, definitely, and I believe that fights like this will bring better qualities and will bring more of Jose Ramirez to the table, to the ring that night, July 27th.
You're also a guy that's known for having fighting at home in Fresno and being a big local guy there and drawing big crowds. But here's the reality: your biggest fight before this was when you won the world title. You did so here in New York City, and your next biggest fight is going to be a unification against Hooker, and you're going to his hometown to do it. So
exactly, it's when I came to New York, March of 2018, to fight for that vacant WBC title against a guy very similar to Hooker. Maybe not as long as Maurice Hooker, but another great fighter who had a good power behind his punches and who's very sharp and fast. And I just came here very motivated to become a world champion, and I came to work, and it was my Top Rank made it very easy for me during fight week, and I just kept very motivated and focused on the fight. So when I went in that ring, I was really I never felt so fresh to go 12 rounds, and it was my first 12 rounds.
So what are the thoughts about going to his hometown for this fight then? I mean, that was neutral with you.
So going into, Miramon is from upstate New York, so, but now that I'm going to his hometown, there's a lot of Hispanics out there in Arlington, Texas.
That's what I figured.
We'll see who has more of a fan.
No, exactly. That's what I was about to ask you about.
But so I'm not really too much focusing on who's going to be in the venue in attendance. I know I've been getting messages from people's pictures of their flight itineraries already.
But I take it there was no hesitation for you to go there to do the fight.
There wasn't no hesitation because, to be honest, I feel like first and foremost, I think this was the only way to make the fight happen, and second is it's at the end of the day it's who controls the territory of that ring. and that's gonna be my home for that night. So I'm not worried about that.
You mentioned earlier that there's pride for you with television and promoter. Do you feel pressure, or do you? Not mention the pressure, but how much do you want to win this fight for Top Rank and ESPN? Also,
there's no pressure because it just feels like you have a team behind you. That's it, you know. And then it feels like you have a team behind you, and it makes it easier for you to be able to work. You know, knowing that you have that support from your promoters. First of all, my promoters believe in me to even allow me to come here in the first place. That's a positive note.